Good afternoon, America. Time now is 17:33, and today's date is April the 4th, 2026, and it's Saturday. I want to talk a little bit about the current breaking news on the Iran, United States, and Israel war. And notice I've said Israel war because that's what it is. I'm going to talk about as to why Donald Trump all of a sudden decides he wants to back away from the Iran war. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this is a pro-active war. It's going to be a long time before it dissipates and stops. Now he's trying to cut a deal in 48 hours. Trump is, and Iran does not want to. They do not want to deal with the American government. The whole sole purpose is to destroy Israel completely, and that is to establish a caliphate. Now, understand what I'm saying to you. In the Middle East, before Israel came along in 1948. Middle East was basically Arab and Islamic nations. So what we have here is a community watchdog in the Islamic nations region. Israel was implanted there by the British, who in retrospect was given orders by the Rothschilds to place European Jews and Zionists in the middle of the bunch, which was Syria and Iraq, Iran, and many of the Saudi Arabian nations, and Turkey. And so Israel was the buffer of the Middle East. Now Israel wants to expand. It wants to take the lands that are occupied by the former Canaanites or Arabs and Hittites and Phoenicians and Philistines and Moabites and other tribes of Ishmael, which were 12. I'm going to tell you, relate a history lessons here, because this is all intertwined. It's all intermixed. See, it starts with Abraham, the father of all nations, whose mother for Ishmael was Hagar, and whose mother for Isaac was Sarah or Sarai, and Abraham being the father of both. So they had together a half brothers in Ishmael and Isaac, which were solely jealous of each other. Now, there's a story behind the jealousy of Sarah towards Hagar, because she produced a son for Abraham, which was the firstborn of Abraham. And he loved his son, Hagar. But then Sarah gave Abraham another son, Isaac, who was a minor before Ishmael, a younger brother. And so there was a jealousy between both of these kids. And the story intertwines the generations afterwards. So now you have the Ishmaelites or the Arabs and Palestinians who are, how would you say, fighting against each other for occupancy of lands that were given to Abraham to disperse. But like as has been for many decades and centuries, both peoples are still not in unity as far as the dispersing of the land. So Israel wants to take the other half. Now I'm going to be talking to you about something which is more of a how would you say, a peaceful manner. Let us bring ourselves up to Khorasan and Isfahan in East Iran. Now, Khorasan and Isfahan has a community of Jews who are very educated and are very cohabitable with the Iranian Persian nation. Now, this is solely different culture from what is going on in the European side and Zionist Jews in Israel, and they too will have problems with those peoples in the north or northeast. But let me continue again. I don't want to veer you off. You see, what's happening in the United States is simply this. The West does not understand the East. The West does not understand the East and their way of thinking and their thinking process. Trump talks about hitting the Iranians with brute force, conventional methods, while the Persians are a warrior nation, and they know how to hit an enemy. They have been fighting empires ever since they were created. So basically, what you have is a complete disregard for history and strategy. What will happen in the Middle East now is very simply this. Israel is going to be destroyed. More than likely, it will be destroyed. And it will go up in flames. Like I've said before, many times I've said it, before there is peace in Israel or in the Middle East, there will be fire. And there will be death, insurmountable, where the world will see predatory birds of prey picking at the eyes and the bones of cadavers in the hills and mountains and plains of Israel. Do you understand what I'm saying? With an army of 1 million that the Iranians plan to come against Israel, and the other million or so that are coming from the Chechen side, and then you have Syria, and then you have the Houthis in Yemen, and then you have other Arabic nations and joining the Arabic or the coalition, Islamic coalition, joining the fracas. You see, America has only one choice. One thing they have is the IDF as allies, or Israel, and they're right now very busy in Lebanon. And the last time I heard it was 1,400 IDF soldiers were killed. So that's a lot of death. Plus we just had 700 reported in the last couple of days of our American troops. And not inclusive the civilians in Tel Aviv who have nowhere to hide because their bunkers are filthy and incommutable and flooded with feces. That is what Netanyahu and Donald Trump created. And it's a total disaster, complete disaster. And now Donald Trump wants to back away from it, wants to back up. Mr. Donald, for a man who says he plays chess, you played a lousy game. Now you're going to have thousands upon thousands of deaths in the Middle East, in the Mesopotamia area. The first area, location, in the first war that has ever happened on this planet was created in Mesopotamia. During the war of Abraham against the Canaanites, Hittites, Jebusites, Moabites, all of the ites in the area. You have not seen anything yet in the Middle East. And you think that by bombarding Iran, like you heard that little song, bomb, 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 Iran. You remember that, don't you? And that's what you're going on. You see, you've got a very unusual problem. You're a sociopath. And I'm not trying to be insulting here, but I'm telling you the truth. You're a sociopath. Egotistical, selfish, arrogant, to name a couple more. Oh, the last one, a deceptive liar, a very consistent liar. And then you come up to the American people, oh, holy, 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 oh, Jesus this, Jesus that. Sir, we saw your face before it showed on camera. We got your number. But you're gonna see the worst defeat that you've ever had in your life. And I pray for every single soldier that has gone to war under your name and under that of Pete Hegseth, who recently got caught chugging down in the middle of a job, his job, right at the job. He's got a problem, man. And you got him as Secretary of Defense, a Secretary of War, chugging down that beer, right? Oh, man. I'm glad I was not supporting you. I'm so glad. I am so happy. I was so happy I took that black MAGA hat, which was a pretty one, I would say, and I tossed it in the garbage, burned it up. I knew what was coming up next. Exactly. So I'm going to ask the American people, besides my outrage, which I am really pissed at this government's disregard for the American soldier, the Marines, the Rangers, the 82nd Airborne, all good elitist units, and the Navy SEALs, in which I've got two nephews fighting this war as well. While you got your men or your boys at home, Brandon, Eric, and Don Jr., none of which should be civilians, but should be in uniform. At least two of them. Now that you raise the enlistment age to 42, they should be in uniform as well, fighting up there with the other soldiers, like men, not draft dodging, as it's gonna see soon. Now you know a little bit about draft dodging, since you've done it 5 times, right? Yeah. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next couple of years. We're gonna see. America's gonna see it. I'm very plain and simple and truthful. I don't hold back anything. Yeah, I'm Christian. But I don't get slapped in the face and turn the other cheek. I hit them double hard. Anyways, make a long story short, America, protect your innocent, protect your children, your sons and daughters. They're going to need your backup. They're going to need your support, solely your support. And you wives of your servicemen, be good to them. They're going to need your support as well. Because what you do here in civilian life affects them in overseas. And they love to hear from you and their families. God bless all of you.